of the Seton Hall Pirates, was the MVP of the 1996 McDonald's All-American game.
That is an impressive nugget, as Buzz Peterson being the player of the year in North Carolina over Michael Jordan his senior year.
Look at the triple team on LeBron James here, so he will give it up. And the baseline jumper will drop for Travis Outlaw. That is assist number 6 for LeBron James.
Wow, and another endangered species in this game, a mid-range jump shot.
And one of the few points the East has scored that has not come off a layup or dunk.
On Wafer. Jump shot won't go down. Loose ball comes to the East again. James wants the lob. And the crowd wanted James to get the lob. Instead, it's Villanueva who gets fouled. Midway through the first half, and we are playing 2 20-minute halves, even though this is a high school game. It's the McDonald's All-American Boys High School game at Gund Arena in Cleveland. Along with Jay Billis and Tim McCormick, I'm Dan Schulman. We are here to watch LeBron James and Charlie Villanueva and 20 other players here in Cleveland. Again, not far from Akron, so this is a very pro LeBron James crowd right here.
You know, right now, Charlie Villanueva at the line, a guy who is very skilled and has the ability to play at the next level, but I think some people have questioned his intensity. And Tim, in coming from high school to college, there's a big jump in intensity. What's the difference between, you know, college and the pros? Because some of these kids have no idea how difficult that jump is going to be.
Down, they do what's natural. They do what's natural. Wow. Von Wafer. You know, they can do this stuff at the NBA level. It's the off-the-court stuff that is so difficult. Dealing with money, which doesn't sound that hard, but it really is. All the pressure along the baseline. And a good idea next time, just don't even go for it. You're risking your fingers.
Now, Von Wafer was the runner-up to LeBron James in the dunk competition a couple of days ago that all the McDonald's All-Americans took part in. You can see some pretty good evidence of why right there. James's 3 no, and the rebound to the West. Wafer, originally from Louisiana. He is headed to Florida State collegiately, and good hustle by Wafer on the defensive end as James was trying to set up another teammate for a dunk.
Well, Wafer saw that coming, and Wafer's a kid who really exploded over the summer at an AAU event. He went from being basically an unknown to one of the top 20 players in the country, and he was the focus of an intense recruiting battle at Florida State. Ultimately wound up winning, so Leonard Hamilton will have an outstanding guard in his backcourt. He's also gone to a number of different high schools.
Lang with a miss, Lang with a rebound, Lang again. He has about 80 pounds on Brian Butch, who is trying to guard him right now. Humphreys beats the D down to the other end, but has it knocked out of bounds.
James Lang doesn't create space. He is space. It is so hard to get around him and get an angle to try to make a play when he is near the basket. Butch did a nice job, but it was just too much strength for him, too much bulk.
Lang, 305 pounds, was close to 400 at one point.
Well, give Humphrey some credit for really running back to stop that play.
Oh, Charlie Villanueva, who's been piling up the dunks tonight, misses one. So Lang says, here, big fella, try again. And look at how upset Villanueva is that he missed that one. From sea to shining sea, the Goodyear blimps have been flying in America since 1925. Today, the Spirit of Goodyear, based in Akron, Ohio, is floating nearby, providing us with an aerial view of downtown Cleveland. Glad they're along with us here tonight. Now, Villanueva at the line, as mentioned, is committed to Illinois, but at no certainty to go there. Could head to the pros. Time will tell. Let's get more on tonight's game as we head to Tim McCormick.
Thanks, Dan. Ken Barron from Ronald McDonald House Charities. Thanks for all of your good work. You must be very proud of the turnout here in Cleveland.
Oh, Tim, it's a tremendous tribute to the owner-operators of McDonald's that have really put on a great show tonight. And all the proceeds from tonight's event and all the events surrounding us are going to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Northeast Ohio to help kids live a better life in our Ronald McDonald houses, our Ronald McDonald Care-Mobile, and all of our programs around the world that go to help children.
Ken, before we get back to the action real quick, how many Ronald McDonald houses are there?
Well, there are 226 Ronald McDonald houses around the world, and about 60 family rooms that are similar, but are smaller in their hospitals and in smaller communities. So we're providing about 5,000 families a place to stay every single night while their kids are being treated in the hospital.
Ken, thanks for all the good stuff you do. Back to you guys at the table.
All right, Tim, thank you. LeBron James, a one-of-a-kind move on that scoop down at this end. At the other end, you saw Von Wafer with a three as Michael Jones takes a bump, and he will go to the line. And James now with 8 points in tonight's game. The high score is Charlie Villanueva with 10, but he's got James to thank for that.
Yeah, James has created that offense for Villanueva. And Mike Jones has had a really nice start to this game. I like his aggressiveness. He's a player that many have likened to sort of a poor man's Ezra Williams, the outstanding senior from Georgia. He can shoot the ball. He can really attack the basket off the dribble. And I think he's got the ability to be an outstanding defender. And Gary Williams will demand that from him when he gets to College Park.
Villanueva out. You saw Brandon Bass, number 30, checking into the game for the East. He's from Baton Rouge, 6'8", 245, and he will go to LSU come this fall. I think we have seen just about every one of the healthy players. Two of the guys who are injured tonight for the East, Luol Deng, who is headed to Duke, or who has committed to Duke for the fall, and Olu Famatimi for the West, who has signed with Arkansas. Famatimi coming back from a torn ACL, and Deng has an injured foot.
Deng was rated the second best player in America behind LeBron James.
Connecticut fans would remember his older brother, Ajo Deng, who has since transferred on Fairfield. Cotton with the lob. Oh, and it's over the head of Wafer. And now the East. Look at the big guy. Cherry picking down at the other end. Lang gets up and bangs it down.
That was testament to the strength of those stanchions. When James Lang hangs around, he can bring that thing down. That's a lot of weight.
We've got a timeout on the floor. We will take you to the break with this earth-shattering, rim-rattling slam by James Lang. All-American DeJuan Wagner. Jay Billis tells us that's rapper Jay-Z also. Your son's a big Jay-Z fan, you were telling me before the game.
Jay-Z's fat. I mean, PH fat.
DeJuan Wagner, one of the many talented players to have played in this game over the years, and LeBron James is adding his legacy here tonight, and it has been, as Tim McCormick expected, a dunk fest tonight. Von Wafer, the latest to get into the act. Kind of a one-sided score favoring the East. The defense has been off and on, as we expected. It is an all-star game, and everybody's trying to show off their stuff. And again, catch the scroll there at the bottom of the screen. All the players in tonight's game, where they are heading if they have indeed committed to a college, and what they have accomplished so far here tonight. Look at the 24 players in this game and what conference they have committed to. And 22 of the 24 have either signed or verbally committed with a college. The ACC and the Big Ten getting the most commitments right now. But again, as Jay and Tim have mentioned, some of that is subject to change. Tim, you feel that a good number of these guys might head to the NBA next year.
Yeah, I agree with that. By the way, we're all tied up in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. You know, Chris Humphrey's a perfect example. He's going to Duke. Would be wise to go there and develop his game, but I wonder if some of these players are concerned about possible changes in the collective bargain agreement that would lower the age limit of guys entering the NBA.
You know, I think that might be part of it if it goes to 20 years old, but you know, I think really it's part of the culture that when so many kids talk about going, I think the culture dictates that if you don't consider the NBA, maybe you're just not good enough. And I think it's a sad state of affairs, but the way it is.
James Gamble did miss, otherwise he was home free for a dunk. Shannon Brown with a layup at the other end, and James gets his dunk anyway.
An all-state football player in Ohio, and really one of the finest football players in the state. LeBron James looking like a pretty good wide receiver there.
Broke a finger, right, though, playing football in his junior year. There he is on the break. Behind the back, bounce pass to Jackie Butler, but a block by Andy Eby. Perkins at the other end finds Cotton, and Cotton is fouled.
Pretty nice pass there by Kendrick Perkins for a big guy running the floor. And LeBron James, that's the extraordinary passing ability that he has. He can put the ball behind his back and, you know, throws it right in stride. And just the great block by Andy Eby, who is long, athletic, has the ability to get off his feet, and is going to be an extraordinary player.
You know, the one guy I worry about, though, is at 93 years old, John Wooden sitting on the side. I don't think that's good for his heart to see that pass from LeBron.
No, Coach Wooden, fundamentals was what he preached in team play, and still does not like the dunk. He would prefer that we went back to the old days and got rid of it because it was more of an individual play in his eyes.
You know, John Wooden was telling me 2 years ago that he was at a UCLA game and there was a 360 dunk, and I said, Coach, what would you do if one of your players in your day tried the 360 dunk? And he said, without question, by the time the guy hit the floor, there would be a substitute at the score table.
Now let's go ahead and look at yet another James feed. And again, left hand on the move, no look. He likes to try it all.
A good move, a nice read to get away from Eby, who was guarding him, and he can pass the ball with either hand. That's really what, in my mind, separates him from a guy like Kobe Bryant at the same age. Not just the fact that he's far more physically imposing than Bryant was, but his ability to pass the ball. That is just the thing that sets him apart in my mind.
Well, what about Grant Hill? You're familiar with his game at that stage. What's the difference there?
I don't think Grant was near as advanced from a skill level and also from a physical standpoint. It took Grant a couple of years not only to get up to speed physically, but also where he felt like he was aggressive enough. He's the type of guy that deferred to some of the older players on his team, and obviously we saw what became of Grant, an outstanding player as he became older. Some guys mature at different rates, and LeBron James has matured at a very rapid rate. If he can keep it going, he can be one of the best players in the NBA.
Eby got a piece of that shot on the drive by James, and here's Brooks with a pull-up at the other end. Well, the guy followed a shot but knocked it out of bounds.
22 to stop us, back please.
The Players' Championship, the name says it all. The world's best players, the game's strongest field. Since its inception in 1974, the Players' Championship has set itself apart with a roster of enduring champs and a lifetime of unforgettable shots. ESPN with 6 hours of coverage Thursday and Friday, starting at noon Eastern. Brooks on the feed from Eby, and Eby's starting to become much more of a force in this game.
Well, Eby said he wanted to be the MVP of this event, that was his goal coming in. And I knew that he was long from having seen him before, but he looks even longer now than he did last summer. This young man has extraordinary length of his arms and great timing.
Well, the buzz around the scrimmage yesterday was that Eby did a tremendous job of being able to slow down LeBron.
Well, with that length and his athleticism, if he stays in front, he can make life very difficult. And that finish, extraordinary with the hesitation move with the basketball.
And Andy Eby with 2 more for the West team as they try to get back into it. At halftime, we're going to show you the McDonald's Boys Player of the Year. Take one guess. Also, a visit, as LeBron James told Tim McCormick a little bit earlier, one of the best things about this game, a visit to the Ronald McDonald House that all the players went through, visiting some of the kids, and also highlights from what has been a dunk-filled first half. The Slam Fest on Monday here in Cleveland. And LeBron James, of course, guys, the prohibitive favorite.
If prohibitive means you put your head by the rim, that's him.
He defeated Von Wafer. Wafer finished second. Shannon Brown of Michigan State, by all accounts, had the single most spectacular dunk. That was in the first round, but in the final round, he missed a dunk outright. So that's why LeBron James was able to win rather easily.
Well, Shannon Brown are going to be outstanding additions to Michigan State's squad next year. A new level of athleticism in the backcourt will allow Tom Izzo to up-tempo the game back to the level that he likes, where they can score off of their defense and really get their break going.
By the way, we have not seen one player that we did expect to see. We knew we weren't going to see Luol Deng or Olu Famatimi, but we have also not seen David Padgett for the West team, 6'11" center out of Reno, who is headed to Kansas. 21 of the 24 players have been in the game so far. There's one of the biggest of them all, Kendrick Perkins.
Perkins committed to Memphis. He's got very good footwork. He is another one of those young men that is considering the NBA. I think he needs to go to college. He's not ready yet, but he's got outstanding footwork. I've been really impressed with his ability to move his feet.
How about him leading the break here? What do you think of that?
Not quite as impressed with that. His decision-making perhaps suspect.
As he turns it over, Lavender's waiting for help. Oh, and right through the hands of Jones.
Not good to make a 3-on-1 break and advantage for the other team.
No. And down at the other end, Jackie Butler is forced to foul Andy Eby.
And that's one of the things with young players. You expect a younger player to make some mistakes and trying to do too much, but you would like to see them make the easy play and make the right play and make good decisions, and that's something they will learn as they go along. But you don't want them to approach this as too much of a show.
In addition to everything else that happened on that play, when the big guy, Kendrick Perkins, was leading his team up the floor, when he was stripped of the ball, It appears he has suffered a shoulder injury of some kind.
Certainly hope that is not serious. And that's one of the reasons you want the players to play as hard as they can and as straight up as possible, simply because you don't want somebody getting hurt trying to do too much.
So Perkins getting some attention on the bench. The West is back within 9. LeBron James on the bench for the final seconds of the first half here at the Gund Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. 26th annual McDonald's Boys High School All-American Game.
A set play, a double high pick.
And Lavender, who had a terrific first half, cannot knock down the three. And we'll go to halftime with the hometown team, the East team, led by LeBron James, leading the West 60-51. James credited with 10 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds in the first half. Let's go to Tim McCormick, the recipient of many of those LeBron James feats. Charlie Villanueva standing by. Tim?
Yeah, Charlie, you seem to enjoy the speed game. Talk about LeBron. I mean, he was hooking you up out there.
Definitely. One thing I learned about LeBron is if you run the floor, he's going to feed you the ball. So that's what I'm trying to do out here right now.
Yeah. Talk about the speed of this game. You know, this is a showcase. You guys are having fun. Is this everything that you could dream of, being a McDonald's All-American and playing in a game like this?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I dream to be a McDonald's All-American all my life. And once I got the chance, I'm going to seize the opportunity, so it feels good to be here.
All right, Charlie's going to Illinois. He's halfway home in this game. Back to you guys over there.
All right, Tim, thank you very much. And Charlie with 10 points tonight, and many of them on dunks on a feeds from LeBron James. Statistically, it's wide open right now. No shoe in that James will be the MVP. We're halfway home. Villanueva throwing his hat into the ring. Halftime coming up from the All-American game here in Cleveland.
Tomorrow night at 7, the world's best are showcased in the ISU Figure Skating World Championships as Yevgeny Plishenko, Tim Gable, and Michael...
Once he got to St. Vincent St. Mary High School, LeBron evolved into not just an all-star player, but a team leader as well.
I came into a team that already had a leader. As the years grew on, you know, I have been seeing that Coach Drew has let me say more and more. And now the team looks at me and they say, you are a leader.
And that leadership continues off the court as well, where LeBron carries a 3.5 grade point average.
I think the way he goes at everything, from the way, you know, he competes with his schoolwork, to how he plays on the basketball court, to how he plays a video game against his friends, it's tenacious. He just always wants to be the best and wants to win.
LeBron's creative talents are not confined solely to the hardwood.
He's an artist. He can draw. He loves to draw, and he's, you know, honestly done a great job designing some of our uniforms, putting things together.
Now his designs are on the McDonald's All-American game.
You know, that McDonald's game it puts another burning desire in my heart. You know, I've seen all the great players who've been through this, and, you know, from Darius Miles to, you know, DeJuan Wagner, that's the Cleveland Cavaliers now, and Michael Jordan and other great players have been through this. You know, it's a great honor to follow in their footsteps.
Artist, student, player of the year all agree that the oversized 9-year-old is on the verge of big things.
I think he's just going to leave a legacy that's much greater than basketball because of his heart.
LeBron James has certainly put on his show, both with his passing and his dunking here in the first half. We'll check out James and the other All-Americans and their visit to the Ronald McDonald House when we come back after this.